Good morning, Fort McMurray, Wood Buffalo, and the rest of the world. You've tuned in to the Mac City Morning Show. I am your host, Elliot Pierre, and we're going to start the show off on the same note we start every show off, with a moment of gratitude. I know you could be doing a million things with your time, so the fact that you spend it with us truly does mean the world to me, so thank you. On that note, Tanner, hit him with the intro.
How's she cutting me, loves? You're listening to the Mac City Morning Show.
All right. I'm excited about today's guest, long-time local. I think most people in town know him, know his name. He's been in the spotlight before, so he's got no nerves coming to talk to me today. As you guys know, I don't introduce my guests. I let them do that themselves. So on that note, sir, can you please tell everybody at home who you are and what you're about?
Well, thanks. Thanks for that, and thanks for joining us today. It's great to have everybody here.
Yeah.
I'm Brian Jean, and I'm a 55-year resident of Fort McMurray. During the 60s here, I learned how to grow up with 10 siblings and work in a family business and run dog teams.
Okay.
During the 70s, I grew up, my parents owned the newspaper here, so I was a delivery boy at a very young age. And
Awesome.
And, since I was the youngest of those 11 kids, I was
Right.
also the janitor in our family businesses, so worked in the family businesses. At that stage, we had quite a few.
Yeah.
And then went to school here as well, elementary
Okay.
school, etc.
Yeah.
And then during the 80s, I went to university, got a Bachelor of Science degree, a law degree, and a master's degree, and an MBA in finance.
Right.
And then I also worked in my family businesses.
Okay. That's a common thread.
It's a
Yeah.
common thread. It continues. And then during the 90s, I came back to Fort McMurray from overseas, where I got some of my education.
Okay.
Worked as a litigator, a lawyer here for 10 years. Many people know me as a lawyer in town.
Right.
And I worked in other family businesses, owned the Xerox franchise, a printing company, Quiznos during that period of time as well.
Right.
And I did that until 2004. And then 2004, I had a vision, and that vision was to get into politics. And I quit the practice of law and
Right.
and left my businesses in my mother's care
Yeah.
and went to Ottawa for 10 years and fought for Alberta.
Yeah.
I believe in Alberta and what Albertans are all about, and I'm very proud of my record there. And
Right.
during that period of time, I was a parliamentary secretary to transport and infrastructure, and was involved in Canada's Economic Action Plan in 2008.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned a lot, let's just
No
say
doubt.
that.
Yeah.
Quit politics in 2014.
Okay.
Or sorry, 2014,
Yeah.
just in January.
Yeah.
And quit federal politics and made the path for a couple of people that were interested in representing our region that I thought would do a great job.
Right.
And if they get an early start, usually they get a better chance to be a minister in Ottawa.
Right. Right.
It would have been great to see a minister from Fort McMurray.
Yeah.
And I came back to Fort McMurray and started spending more time with my family. I was lonely for Alberta, to be honest.
Okay.
Came back to Fort McMurray, still working in the family businesses at that stage. And my mom and I were still working together.
Yeah.
And during the 2000s, I was very busy in Ottawa and spent a lot of time there, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And then my son got sick, as I was talking to you before, and I got a passion for fixing our healthcare system. And
Yeah.
I ran as a leader of the opposition, or ran for premier, but got leader of the opposition, second place, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I really have a passion to fix healthcare and a few other things, the justice system, etc.,
Right.
or education system. But that's another story.
Yeah.
And then, quit politics after it became very clear to me Jason Kenney didn't want me there anymore, not talking to me for 4 months, passing in the hallway, seeing him question period.
Right.
He obviously did not want me around, so I thought the best thing I could do is for my constituents is to leave, which I did, and came back here. And also my family was quite ill at the time. My sister was dying from cancer. My mom actually died 8 months later from cancer
Right.
after I left. And
Yes.
my son had just died a couple of years before, and then my sister died 8 months after my mom. And
Oh, geez.
and I was the executor for their estates, and of course my mom's businesses were also my businesses.
Right.
So I came back. We have a car wash and different commercial buildings, etc., that we've worked on over the years.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And so I came back to take that over when my mom passed away.
Okay.
And as people know, I love my community, and
Yeah. There you go. Well, that's a great story. That's a good introduction of who you are and what you're about. I'm going to double back on some of that. So as far as the schooling is concerned, what schools did you attend in Fort McMurray during those years?
oh boy, I attended Peter Pond for grade 1.
Okay.
And I like grade 1 so much, I did it again in Dr. Clark.
Okay.
I would have been happy to be an average student, to be honest. I didn't understand the power of hard work
Yeah.
and
yeah.
focus. So, and then I did Dr. Clark, from
Right.
grade 1 till grade 5. And then grade 5, we went to Clearwater.
Okay.
And then from Clearwater, we went to, which is now just an administration building down on Hardin.
Yeah.
Then from there, I went back to Peter Pond for grade 8.
Okay.
And then grade 9, my parents sent me, it was a pretty rowdy place back in the 70s, as you can imagine.
Okay.
And I had, as I mentioned, 7 older brothers and older sisters. So
Yeah. Yeah.
my parents sent my sister and I away to a school in Three Hills, which is called Prairie Bible.
Okay.
And we sent me there for high school. So I
Okay.
spent 4 years in a boarding school there with, 50 other kids my age, and
Yeah.
we attended high school.
Okay.
And then from there I came back to Fort McMurray. I didn't, I attended, but as guys are in high school, I had we had pink sidewalks on one side and blue on the other, so men
Right.
and boys and girls were segregated, and I tried to break that segregation.
Right.
And so I left in February of my last year and graduated from comp here.
Okay.
I went to comp here as well.
All I'm saying is one of our great politicians from Fort McMurray went to Composite High School. So
I'm never gonna hear the end of this. Just so
no,
you know.
you are not, because obviously, look at the alumni. How many first round draft picks come from Merck? How many politicians?
Yeah. I don't know. Let's move on. I knew as soon as you said comp, I'm like, oh no.
I was just waiting for it.
Yeah. Okay.
I think of us as one big family, though.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
is, about family. So the power together. Remember, rising tides float all boats.
That's
right?
right. And so then you went and studied abroad. What made you want to go study abroad?
First of all, different types of schools. So
Yeah.
I went to Portland, Oregon for a science degree
Okay.
in marketing and management,
Right.
because of course I was going to come back and work in my parents' businesses, which I did do. And I operated them for a while. My dad had retired and my mom needed help. And I mean, it was a tough time here in the 80s. I was selling
Yeah.
office supplies and printing door to door to the businesses here
Right.
in 30 below zero to try to make a living.
Yeah.
It was tough. So I went there and I came back, and then I went to Australia and I went to a school called Capernry.
Okay.
And then after that, I did an MBA at Bond University.
Okay.
And then the dean of the law school came to me. I was only four classes away from a master's in law. I really started to like school. To be
Yeah.
honest, I was not a good student, as I mentioned, in high school, but I
Right.
caught on. You work hard, you focus, you
That's
get
right.
better grades.
Yeah.
And then he suggested that I do a law degree. I was only 4 classes away from a master's in law, and he said, you should go practice law.
Yeah.
And so I did. They gave me a bursary on it. I did
Oh,
some
very
work there,
cool.
and they gave me a 50% bursary on my legal studies. And so I talked to my parents, and they decided to help me a little bit. They backed a loan at the bank, and
Yeah.
and I got another loan, and I went back to school for another couple of years and got a law degree. Came back here.
Yeah.
Went to the U of C.
Okay.
And got a Canadian equivalent law degree so I could practice here.
Right,
And then I practiced
right.
here with, as a partner with Campbell, Jermaine Cooper, and Jean.
Right.
And was there for about 10 years.
Okay. Okay.
Then left in 2004. So, and it was great education. I went to, as I mentioned, I went to Australia.
Yeah.
And I had friends there, and I went there, and I saw the beach the first week, and I saw the beach the last day, and then in between, it was pretty hard studying. So
Yeah.
it was a great country, and I've been back many times since.
Nice.
But you can't take me out of Fort McMurray
No.
full time. I
No,
love
you
the
definitely
place.
keep coming back. That's for sure.
Oh, I love this area. I think it's the best place to live in the world.
Yeah. Oh, it's beautiful. You have no argument for me on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in regards to your history in politics, though, like you've held a few different positions throughout your tenure there. You kind of know the lay of the land. I don't understand why anybody would get back into it. And I had all of the people running for council here locally, and in 2021
It's a tough gig.
with the internet, with social media being like it is, the scrutiny, society demands perfection, unfortunately, with cancel culture and with everything going on now. I'm just like, anybody who wants to put themselves in a political spotlight, to me, is out of their minds.
That's fair.
So just because it comes
It's not
with
the
such
first
a
time
heavy
I've heard
burden,
that.
right?
Yeah, it does.
So I gotta ask, because you've been in it, you've come out of it, now you're going back in it again. What is this drive to be in it? Like, what are you trying? What are you hoping to get? I know it's change based, obviously. So
Something has to be done, or else the NDP are going to win an overwhelming majority.
yeah. And so from your
I don't
point
want
of
to see
view,
that happen. I think I think with Justin Trudeau,
Yeah.
and I served with him for 4 or 5 years, so I know what his policies are. I know
Right.
what he's thinking.
Yeah.
And with him and what he said, I think with another term of Rachel Notley, I think they'll change our province forever. And some people may like it,
Right.
the idea of no oil and gas industry here. I don't.
Right.
I think that's something we're very good at.
Yeah.
We're the best in the world at
Yeah.
it, and people should know that.
Mhm.
And I do think, knocking our head against a brick wall isn't the best approach for us with the world
Right.
or with Ottawa.
Right.
But certainly we have to stand our ground and make sure that nobody pushes us around. And, my litigation time,
Yeah.
some people say I'm too nice of a guy. Nobody that I've been against in court has ever said that about me.
Right.
But it's true. I am a nice guy. I don't believe that has to be the way you have to do things all the time.
Right.
But when you get your back in a corner like Alberta is right now, you need to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. So you've been pretty vocal about some stuff in Fort McMurray, though, on a municipal level. So in the role that you're in, how would that serve the community here?
Well, first of all, getting involved in other political levels is not something I normally do. I don't usually take sides on other levels of politics just because you usually get somebody angry that would otherwise vote for you. But I felt in the last period of time, I just think some of the decisions that have been made have been less than helpful for people. And up to this point, I've been Joe's citizen, remember? So I've got the right, like everybody else, to make comments about races, and I've done that. And I'm quite pleased with our new council. I hope they're going to do well. I'm not saying the other people running for the mayor's job or council wouldn't have done a great job.
Right.
But I think this combination might do well, and a change was needed, and a lot of people ran on the idea of change. And I think
That's right.
you can feel the need for change municipally, and I can feel it provincially. And
For sure.
And I don't think the change, based upon what I've seen, the change that people want is not to go back to where we were, 3 years ago to the NDP government. I think what they want is a different idea, a different brand of government that actually works for the people.
Right. Yeah, no doubt.
And,
All right.
and that's why I want to go back. I want to go back because I think I can be that catalyst for change.
Yeah.
I truly believe that I am one of the few people in Alberta right now that can actually go back there and make the changes necessary in order to get reelected. Because if something's not done, the UCP will not get reelected.
Right.
I can talk to anybody and they tell me that. I don't have to just be from Fort McMurray or Grand Prairie,
Right.
downtown Edmonton or Calgary. They're barely right now able to win in rural Alberta.
Yeah, which is nuts.
It's crazy. The Premier's own seat
Yeah.
is in jeopardy,
Yeah.
significant jeopardy most of the time.
Yeah. When you
the
look at
last
a
few
province
months.
like ours that has such a deep history in like the conservative government, to be struggling in those pockets that were dedicated to that for so many years, it does show that, hey, people are looking to do something else potentially, for sure. So Tanner pointed out that it's his segment, though. I got the wave. It's called the Mac City Minute. He's going to ask you some questions. I wish you nothing but the best of luck. Tanner, hit him with the Mac City Minute.
All right, question number 1. What is the weirdest story you have from your time as a lawyer that you are allowed to tell us?
No comment.
There you go.
I'm not, but I can tell you a weird story about Ottawa that I
Yeah.
learned. I learned for a period of time. I went to my minister once, and I won't tell you which minister, but I was the parliamentary secretary, as I said. So that's the guy that does all the paperwork for laws and stuff like that, Tanner. And you're busy on committees, and you negotiate deals, and you try to get other parties to be with you. Well, I found out they were spraying down for a bug, a potato bug, or a bug that was going across ferries. But the bug had been extinct for like 40 years or 30 years, and they were still spraying down the vehicles before they get on the ferry. Now, I don't know if they're still doing it, but apparently that's a government job. And even though the potato bug or the bug that they were spraying down was extinct for 40 years, they were still spraying down because those were good government jobs and you couldn't take those jobs away.
Okay.
That was one of the most bizarre things. The other bizarre thing was, if I can tell you this,
Ah,
many of the bridges that are owned, most of the bridges that are owned in Canada are owned by provinces. So they have to pay for the repairs, and it's huge if you wouldn't believe the repair bill on bridges and build cost on bridges is significant. Well, in Ottawa, right across from Quebec, those bridges are primarily owned by the federal government. So
Okay.
is the main bridge in Quebec City and the main bridge in Montreal that they just spent over $1 or $2 billion fixing.
right.
Those are owned by the federal government. So the federal government actually pays to fix those bridges. Why would they do that?
Yeah.
They own all the bridges going across Hull to Hull and Ottawa.
Right.
And they pay for those, they repair them, they do everything there. That's another weird story, as is the NCC, the National Capital Region, and the amount of money they spend
Yeah.
in Quebec
Yeah.
and in Ottawa. And I lived there for 10 years, but it's just when I look at what happens here in my home,
That's
the
right.
place I love, the place I earn a living and that I care about, and I see what happens there, it gets me mad.
Yeah, no doubt.
I don't think it's fair.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just the transfer payments, it's all the funneling off on the rest of the things they do. All the great government jobs. 87%, I think, was the last stat I saw. 87% of the bureaucrats in Ottawa are Quebecois.
Yeah. It's unbelievable.
Like, so you have to be French Canadian to get a job with the federal government. I don't think that makes any sense at all. I'm an old guy, and I've learned a long time ago after many years of lessons that my French is never going to get very good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some people have it, some people don't. I wish I had it.
Yeah.
But I don't, which excludes me and many, many other people that are born in Fort McMurray or other
That's right.
places around
Yeah.
Canada from participating as they should if we want a real clear democracy and representation of the people.
That's right.
So anyways,
Facts.
I got off on a tangent, sorry.
That's okay. That's what the Mac City Minute's all about, actually. So no worries. Tanner, hit him with the next question.
Question number 2. What is your craziest story you have from owning so many different businesses within Fort McMurray?
Yeah, there's a lot there.
Yeah, it's been, Fort McMurray has been so good to me. So how about this crazy story? How about you compare my businesses to other people around the world? And I say to myself, thank you that I'm here
Yeah.
in Alberta,
Yeah.
in Fort McMurray.
100%.
It's been good to me. It's been good to my family. And that's the weirdest story, is that it's, people here support local,
That's right.
and we appreciate it. And
That's right.
that's how you build businesses. And that's how, I'd like to see more family businesses, home-based businesses going out and providing those services to all the community, because I think that's what makes a community. I'd like to see a bigger community, more variety of different things that we can do here, and different, like you go to Ottawa or Toronto or Montreal and see the restaurants there or the clothing shops and things like that. I'd like to see that here.
There you go.
Was here when there was only 25, 30,000 people here.
There was. Yeah. Yeah, there was. There's no doubt about that.
Question number 3. What is one thing in Fort McMurray that you missed the most when you were out on your many travels?
Clearwater River.
Okay.
Summer times. I love summer and winter.
Yeah.
It's I think it's the best place in the world.
Yeah.
Clearwater River. Maybe I shouldn't give that secret away, but
That's right.
it's gorgeous.
It's a beautiful spot. People take it for granted. I'm interjecting on a Mac City Minute for 1 second. It's crazy in the best way possible how I like to kayak, right? And so I have the divorce model. That's the 2-people kayak. And you literally can put it on top of your car and then just drive to downtown and put in water and go. Like when I used to live in other places, Edmonton primarily, if you wanted to do that kind of stuff, you had to travel to go get that kind of stuff done.
Yeah, you're right.
But in Fort McMurray, it's right in your backyard.
Can I tell you a new opportunity for you?
Yeah.
I told you about that land that was for sale out on the Clearwater River. I purchased.
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit. I got to be honest with you. It was at Ribfest, and I had some adult beverages in me. So
No.
please,
I wouldn't have known
Please
if I
jog my
wouldn't have-
memory.
Yeah. I got an opportunity to buy 120 acres. And
Okay.
Those 120 acres are right on the Clearwater River. And what I want to do is put a not-for-profit kids camp on part of it. I've been looking for a partner. I've been talking to the Salvation Army, and I've talked to other people that have experience with kids camps, and I'd really like to see a kids camp on 10 or 20 acres down there, so that people could have a place to send their children. That would be not for profit or subsidized in part by some sort of recreational area beside that would be right on the river.
Right.
And I'm hoping to be able to provide that. It's only 15 minutes from downtown. It's paved all the way.
Yeah.
And I'm working on that with the municipality and with some
Very
partners
cool.
to try to get that through council and through the planning department. And I think
Awesome.
if it works out, we're going to have a place, and it's not going to be for a work campsite. It's for local families.
Yeah, that's right.
Parks and walking trails and even a small boutique wedding facility, so people can have a wedding there with 4 honeymoon suites on top. So
Right.
and all of this right on the river. You have to come and see it.
I will.
It's beautiful. I'm really hoping to turn it into a gem, a diamond of Fort McMurray and the regional municipality of Wood Buffalo, because we don't have anything really like that here.
That's right. And that's a different way about going about revitalizing the downtown core.
And I want to use the income from the other parts of the business
Yeah.
to support the kids camp.
There you go. Very cool.
So I think it's
that
got
sounds
great
neat.
opportunities. So if there's any partners out there that would like to be involved in something like a not-for-profit kids camp, I would really appreciate that.
There you
They
go.
could contact me.
Awesome. Tanner, sorry for jacking your questions. Let's see your next one.
Question number 4. What is your favorite story from your time being a farmhand?
Probably, yeah. No, you didn't know that, did you?
No.
I even
I don't
milked
know how
cows
Tanner
a couple
knows.
times.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was impressed. That was from a 2004 brochure back in. But yes, I was. I worked on the prairie farm. So
Okay.
I milk cows, and you do a lot of work with shovels there.
Right.
So it got me very prepared for politics. I was shoveling all the stuff there, and then I was able to deal with it when I was an MP and an MLA. So
That's hilarious.
but yeah, no, that would be the weirdest story is shooting gophers. I love, I'm a hunter. I
Yeah.
love hunting. I love
Yeah.
being outdoors. I'm a big outdoor enthusiast.
Okay.
Enthusiast like you are with a kayak. I
Yeah.
love being out on a river. And if you want to go on a jet boat trip with me sometime,
Yeah. We'll make a show out of it.
good. But shooting gophers is a lot of fun.
Okay.
Especially when the farmer wants you to and gives you free 22 shells.
There you go.
And your final question. What is one thing about Fort McMurray people would be surprised to know you enjoy?
Parades, seeing people at parades, seeing people out
Okay.
at events like the Rib Fest.
Yeah.
You know, I love the music. I love outdoor music and especially live music. But, you know, just having the opportunity to see people and their actions and reactions to the events that are going on. And
Yeah.
you know, it's a good thing. I like to see people very happy and positive.
Yeah.
And those have been your 5 questions.
We used to have some
Thank you.
bangers of events here, like the Blueberry Festival, or what was it called? They
Winter
shut
Carnival.
down Franklin Avenue, Winter Carnival, but they used to close down Franklin Avenue and have, it was kind of like what Edmonton does with the Fringe, but it was called
Interplay.
something. Interplay. Interplay was a good one back in the day. Yeah. So we used to have a lot of those. So
Well,
hopefully we can
my
bring them
goal
back.
is to make Albertans the healthiest, happiest, most prosperous nation on the planet.
Right.
And I'm going to do everything I possibly can to get them there.
That's good to hear that, man. All right. Well, listen, the 20 minutes has flown by. I know
Wow,
we've
that's
actually
20 minutes. That was like 2 minutes.
I know we've actually gone by already, so that's okay. But at the end of every show, everybody gets a shameless shout out or plug. So the lights are on you, the camera's on you, you got the mic. Have fun.
You know, I've really enjoyed being here. I enjoy what you do for the community.
Thank you.
I love my community. I love my province. And I just think that things are going to be much better tomorrow than they were yesterday.
Yeah. There we go. Okay. And you're running though for a position. When
I
how
am.
can people
I'm
support?
running-
How can they get out?
Yeah. You know, right now it's sort of a closed club, which is something that I'm not particularly enamored with.
Okay.
Because, you know, closed clubs usually mean some folks run everything.
That's right.
But there's about 1,500 members or so that are currently members of the United Conservative Party. I'm trying to win the nomination, and only
Okay.
those 1,500 people can vote for me on December 11th or 12th. Somewhere,
Okay.
and there's going to be 2 votes on the 11th here in Fort McMurray downtown, and
Okay.
on the 12th in Lac La Biche downtown.
Okay.
And there's more information on the web, but only those 1,500 people can do that. And I'm, of course, running so that I can have an opportunity to remove Jason Kenney as Premier of this province. And
Okay.
I'm hoping to be able to do that
Okay.
over time through the UCP and the mechanism. I think that's the right party and the right policies to move forward with. And
Right.
and if I'm successful there, then I'm going to run to be the MLA.
Okay.
And you know, once I'm the MLA, and if I'm in the UCP party, then I'll work from within to try to remove Jason Kenney, as politicians do. This is politics, and this
That's
is what you
right.
do. You try to make sure you get the best opportunities for the people to vote for in order to win their hearts and minds. Because if you don't,
Right.
you're going to lose, and it's going to be a terrible thing because the opposite policy is going to be in place.
That's right. That's right.
But then, you know what? I can use people's help. So
Yeah.
once this is done,
yeah.
and I'm the UCP MLA, I would really appreciate it if Albertans right across the province could come out and buy $10 UCP memberships.
Okay.
Because with that membership, they get to vote for the leadership review that Jason Kenney's going to hold,
Okay.
as long as he does an open and fair contest.
Right.
And then what they get to do also is to decide on the next leader. And I am running to be that next leader.
Okay.
Because I would think it would be the greatest privilege of my life to be the Premier of Alberta.
Okay.
And coming from Fort McMurray, I think I know the oil and gas sector.
I think you know a little bit well.
I'm
To
a
say the
small
least.
business
Yeah.
guy. I'm a lawyer.
Right.
I love my community.
Yeah.
And it is all about community.
Okay.
Like I said to you, I want to make Albertans the healthiest and happiest and most prosperous people on the planet.
Right.
I'm going to do everything I can to
There
get
we
that.
go. So on the December what do you say, the 10th and the 12th?
The 11th and 12th.
11th and 12th. There's 1,500 people that need
Yeah,
to
if
go
there's
out and
15,
vote for you.
if you have a UCP membership, give me a chance to get in there and do what I need to do. I'm the right person to do it. I've got the best opportunity to do it, and I'm going to do it for you.
Awesome. All right. Well, Brian, thank you so much for coming on the show, man. Really do appreciate it. Anytime you want to come back, We're more than
Sounds
happy
good.
to have you.
Thanks, man.
Cool. All right. Well, Fort McMurray, Wood Buffalo, and the rest of the world. That's been another episode of the Mac City Morning Show. Once again, thank you so much for watching. It means the world to me. I hope you're having a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Peace.
I just said this. That's another Mac City Morning Show done.
It's so ballistic!
Talk about quenching your ugly thirst.